Hi guys, welcome to Inking on the Fly. I'm Amy Jasper. Hello. I wanted to share this card with you today. It is just sort of a really simple fancy fold. It's a fun way to just do something a little bit different. And this one is using stamps and designer series paper from Celebration. So this beautiful background paper and this stamp, the Berry Blessings stamp set, are both available for free in the Celebration brochure. So you get a whole bunch of different paper and the stamp set for free with a $120 purchase. So they're quite beautiful actually. The paper is really beautiful. And they coordinate a little bit with the Sweet Strawberry stamp set in the mini catalog. Okay, so let's show you how I did this card. Okay, so we start with this one. I'm going to start with a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock. This one is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then I've scored it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So the normal halfway mark, but then the 4 1/4 to create that square front piece, this square bit at the front. So we can go ahead and fold along our score lines. Don't trust the score lines. Still make sure everything lines up before you commit with your own folder. And then you're going to fold backwards on that top layer like that. And then we can apply a little bit of adhesive to that center 1 1/4 inch section. Hold that together. Like that. And then if you have a kit from me, you will also have a piece of the designer series paper. It's so, isn't it? It's just so cute. I love it. It makes me want to eat strawberries. Two-sided, of course. We're going to use the strawberry on the branches side. But we first need to cut. We need to cut this into 2 parts because one part is going to go on this side, one part in the middle. So I want 4 inches off of the right side. So I've got my cutter backwards, but that's okay. I can still read it and still work on it or still cut it. So I can cut 4 inches off like that. So then I have my 2 pieces and I can attach them to my card. So that one goes centered on the right side. And this one goes centered on the left side. Or not centered. Nope, not centered. Why not centered, Amy? Well, because it's going to center top and bottom, but it's going to tuck right in close to the fold on my card. Because by doing that, I get more even, like then all of my borders are equal and even. If I did it centered, this border of Mossy Meadow would be quite a bit wider. It already is a bit wider, but that's because I didn't have that centered quite exactly. And that's okay. I don't want to be exact. Exact is boring. Okay, before I proceed with the decor on this, I'm going to punch a hole, and you don't have to do this. Instead of a hole punch, you could just wrap your twine, what is it called? Trim, whew, around your card base fully. But I am going to stick with my original design, and I'm going to use the detailed trio punch. It has the corner punches, but then this one here is more like a label, like a hole for a tag, I guess. So now I have holes, and I can use my 20 inches of my braided linen trim. All right, I'm just going to tie the braided linen trim into a bow. Always more awkward on camera than in real life. Well, it's still real life. Then I can trim my ends. So cute already, I think. Super cute. Okay, this is, I used a lot of different dies for this project. So let me show you what I used. This is from the Stitched So Sweetly dies from the main catalog. So this one has a bunch of the stitched rectangles and a few other kind of label dies and frames. So we're going to glue that one down pretty much well, it will be center on that 4 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inch square section on the right here. So we'll tack that one down. Like that. And then we have more dies. So here we have the Mossy Meadow large scallop circle. That's from the layering circles framelits dies. And this is a stitched circle from the Stitch Shapes framelits dies. And I used the Ombre, the Oh So Ombre Designer Series paper. This is also a celebration item. But I need to stamp on this one first. So here I have my stamp ready to go in the Stamparatus. You don't need to use the Stamparatus. You can just stamp directly. But I wasn't sure if I could trust my stamping to be, you know, perfect. So the Stamparatus really helps me to make sure that things are closer to perfect for my sake. So this is the absence, the vacancy of the circle, the stitched circle. I've used it a couple times. I'm just going to put a little piece of Stampin' Seal in the middle to hold my circle in here a bit better, because it is a circle, and if it lifts up, then I can't stamp a second time if I want to. I might not need to stamp a second time. We'll see. I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And when I'm stamping this on my circle, it's slightly up from center. See how it wants to grab that stamp? Probably, or grab the paper, probably because my stamp isn't very clean. Oh, and it stamped beautifully. I don't need to stamp it again. Phew. Good thing. So then I can glue those together. And then that's going to glue directly to the center of that 4 1/4 square of my card. If in doubt, always be slightly up from center. It's kind of my rule. All right, then we have some strawberries to cut. So we've got a couple of strawberries. This is from that same Designer Series paper from the Celebration brochure. So I have been cutting strawberries out of it. So this is what it looks like. all the strawberries getting cut out of it. I've also punched out a flower. This one I cut anyways. Don't even ask, but I did punch out some flowers using the bloom, medium bloom punch. So that's kind of cool that I can do that. And of course there are dies in the mini catalog that, or a punch, sorry, that will also cut out some of these things. But of course it's a whole bunch of things on the one die, or one punch, sorry. So it doesn't match up exactly, but if you're punching out a strawberry, you could punch out a strawberry using the punch and then stamp and punch other elements to go with it. I just think it's cool when they coordinate things. Okay, you don't need to watch me cut. I actually have some pre-cut, so let's work with those ones. So you can pause the video and carry on cutting your strawberries out if you like, and then jump right back in with me. And I have, oh, where's my other one? Uh-oh, I'm missing some stuff. Okay, so we have strawberries, we have a flower, and I'm going to tuck my little short end underneath so it won't show. And I have this little leaf, I guess. And I have a green one, a mossy meadow one somewhere, but oh, there it is. Whew, found it. I didn't want to have to pause the video and cut another one. So there's my mossy meadow one. This one is actually cut from the Oso Ombre paper as well, so that it's a perfect match. It's the darker version, so perfect match with that. And getting more use out of that Oso Ombre is always good too, right? So then I can start attaching all of my elements. You are oftentimes, before I attach, I will lay it out to make sure I like where it's going and it looks good, and so I have a plan. But I have done this a few times, so I know where I want things to go. Tombow liquid glue works really nicely for this, as would glue dots would work nicely as well. I don't need this bottom part, so I'm just going to rip that off. And I just like my Tombow liquid glue. It does the job very well for me. That guy's going to go right about there. Then I have the little blossom that I cut from the designer series paper. It's going to go right about there. Then I have my strawberries. I need to decide which one's going to be in the front, because you're going to have different colored strawberries. I don't know. I think we'll put the not quite ripe one in the back. So it will go on it'll go on directly. Not dimensionals. The other one will be on dimensionals. Like that. And then this guy will be on a dimensional. And we're almost done. Where's my dimensionals? Oops. So this guy, I can just put a couple dimensionals on him. Like that. And he can lay on the front, chilling out, laying like strawberry, like a strawberry, laying like broccoli, I was going to say, but it's not broccoli, it's a strawberry. And there's one more thing that I want to add to this card, and that is one of these adorable ladybug trinkets. So I find with these, glue dots are the way to go to attach these little guys. So I can pick up my glue dot and Pop him on there like he's crawling, heading on over to get a strawberry to eat, perhaps. I don't know. Do they eat strawberries? I feel like this one's a little bit closer to my words than I'd like, but you can still read it, right? So it's all good. Oh, and then on the inside, you'll want to add a piece of paper to write on. So I've just added a 4x4 inch Whisper White or Basic White for the inside. And then that's it. Card is done. Looking good and worth redoing with different elements and seeing how we can work with that fancy fold with other Stampin' Up products, because it's so easy.